They are whittling down online freedom of speech to the point that there will only be allowed one story. The government prescribed official version of reality will be the only one that's allowed at all. Out of all of the responses to what happened last week, this right here has got to be one of the most disturbing. After the shooting in Las Vegas, people had a lot of questions, and a lot of people took to YouTube asking those questions and discussing this shooting, which should be everyone's right to do. Apparently, they made a big deal out of the fact that YouTube search results were promoting conspiracy theories about the Las Vegas shooting, which, as you know, if you follow independent media, or if you're in the independent media, you know that's not actually true. They never promote conspiracy theories about anything. They bury anybody who tries to talk about that stuff and have consistently. So if all of a sudden this last week they were promoting it, the only reason would be to purposely do that and make it obvious that it was being done so that they could then come in with a Hegelian problem reaction solution response, which they did. And now it's being reported that YouTube has altered its search algorithm over fake Las Vegas conspiracy videos. And what is considered a fake Las Vegas conspiracy video? Well, this article goes on to tell you it's pretty much anything that would even call into question the official story of what happened. It says YouTube has made changes to its algorithms after it was strongly condemned for promoting offensive and false conspiracy theory videos about the Las Vegas shooting. And it goes on to say that these videos claiming that the shooting was a hoax and a false flag spread like wildfire on YouTube, earning millions of views. Because after this shooting happened, a lot of people had questions, and a lot of those people took to YouTube to discuss those questions. As much as they're trying to censor conspiracies right now and people talking about things that go against the establishment narrative, more people than ever are starting to realize that we're not being told the truth about a lot of the things that are going on in this world. It goes on to specifically call out numerous videos questioning whether the government was lying. Because apparently if you question whether the government is not being truthful about something, you are now a conspiracy theorist, and what you're saying is a fake video that needs to be censored. And questioning the basic facts of the tragedy, and it says the company implemented changes to the platform in a direct effort to better promote reputable sources. A YouTube source confirmed on Thursday the company tweaked its search algorithms late on Wednesday night, hours after survivors and victims' relatives criticized the company for prominently featuring videos with hoax claims. YouTube had been working on this change for months, just by the way, but decided this was the perfect time to push it out early this week. It's unclear how the new algorithm functions or whether it is effective in downgrading falsified accounts of the attack. So anything that is not the official story is a falsified account of the attack. If you question whether government's lying, that is also considered a falsified account. And they will downgrade that. They will hide that. They're using a new algorithm now to bury anyone who tries to analyze these events, which, if the official narrative is true, it should stand on its own, right? It goes on to say that YouTube's initial statements, followed by its readjusted algorithms, speak to the broader ethical challenges technology companies face regarding their role in providing major platforms for fake news and propaganda. And they just got in saying what that was. That's questioning whether the government's lying. If you do that, you are now a creator of fake news and propaganda. Because they're only supposed to provide you one set of fake news and propaganda, and that's whatever the official establishment narrative is. Do you see how Orwellian this is?
Well, it's exactly as you said not long ago in the video on how Google is 1984. This is the undoing of everything that made for a free society, free speech, the right to question things, the attempt to hold power into account. And if you can't question authority, how could power ever be checked? How could corruption be limited? How could you live in a society where you can't even question the veracity of events?
I mean, if the events happen the way that we were told that they do, then that should be the truth, right? And so questions shouldn't hurt the truth. If it's the truth, The question should be easily answerable, and it shouldn't matter if people are asking questions, because the truth should stand on its own if it is the truth. But instead, what we're seeing is videos by the dozens disappearing altogether. Videos that show what clearly to me sounds like multiple different types of gunshots overlapping in different places. Videos questioning the claims of some of the survivors, because there are trauma surgeons coming out now saying, I'm sorry, I've worked with people who've had gunshot wounds to the chest, and this doesn't look right to me. Those kinds of things are being taken down completely. They're disappearing. So this is how it's going to be. There will be one version of reality, one version of events, one official story, and that's it. And if you try to ask any questions that go against that, there's no freedom of speech online. They'll criminalize that. They will bury that. They will disappear it. They will call you fake news. They will say you're propaganda. And I guess the point that I wanted to make is, how are we not living in 1984? Look, even if you agreed with every single thing that we were told about Las Vegas or about 9/11 or any major event that happens, even if you agree with every single facet of the official establishment narrative on that, how is it okay to not allow anyone else to ask any questions about it? How is that not straight out of 1984? And that is where this is going, and that's where it's always been headed.
It's as if we literally are living in 1984, just as you argued in the past video. What is an extremist quote-unquote view? What are acceptable views? What about the other viewpoints, whatever they are? Why is that not acceptable? And why are we in a position where they're trying to systematically control the window of thinking? Google CEO Chairman Eric Schmidt literally discussed augmenting humanity, literally giving people, quote unquote, better ideas.
We're trying to make people better people, literally give them better ideas, better augmenting their experience. Think of it as augmented humanity.
Literally controlling and implanting thoughts, injecting in the establishment point of view, which up until this point has just been reinforced through propaganda and control of newspaper and media. Well, now we live in a world of feedback where ideas themselves are a form of currency, and they too have to be controlled.
When you use Google, do you get more than one answer? Of course you do.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's a bug. We have more bugs per second in the world. Because we should be able to give you the right answer just once.
They can reinforce, that is, they can condition the acceptable viewpoints. They can associate these promoted viewpoints with positive emotions. And just like in 1984, they can reinforce negative emotions to the point where the very sight of a quote-unquote extremist would make their words drowned out by cries of hatred.
Can you imagine what future generations are even going to look like as this continues? Because it seems to me the ultimate goal is, just like Orwell imagined, it will be to make it physically impossible for people to be able to formulate the questions. You will do as you're told, you will think as you're told. I mean, it's bad enough that we live in a society that's run by false flag terror. I mean, that's enough slavery as it is. But worse than that, they're actually vying for people's minds here.
Yeah, and if dystopic fiction is our guide, society will become incapable of even holding a thought that's not acceptable.
One way to think about this.
And that's where they're headed, but in the end, truth is authority. Authority is not truth, and we have to make sure that endures.